Welcome back to Spotlight Over the City, you guys. And guess what? We got our first plus one in the building. She's gorgeous. She's dynamite. She's smart, sharp. She's a businesswoman, superwoman. Man, she does it all. So I'll let Wifey introduce since it's Black Girl Magic.
You've already given all the accolades. I don't think there's anything I can add to that. You all welcome our newest member of our Spotlight family to the show, Miss Marcia Holmes.
Hey, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Hey.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yes.
Amen.
The studio is absolutely amazing.
UBM, you broadcast media. You did.
So beautiful in here.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for saying
welcome
that.
to Spotlight Over the City, honey.
Well, thank you so much. You guys were quite entertaining earlier.
Well, we like to keep it spicy a little bit, but have fun at the same time, and, you know, on the safe side. So I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Yes.
So who is Marcia? Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Let's get into it.
I've known Marcia for a long time, but not like up close and personal. Like we met way back in the early 90s, I believe.
Sarah, ain't nobody asked you.
I think
Right,
it was
you
like
know,
the early 90s.
To the interview.
I ain't
Giving
gonna
away
yeah.
ages and
Get
stuff.
into it. You dry snitching and carrying on. Get all into this. Get into it. Let's talk about it.
What for today, though, you are here to talk about your journey in real estate, honestly, because you are one of the biggest bosses, in my opinion, in the real estate game here in the DMV with Penn Premier. And so let's talk about your journey and what led up to Marcia Holmes owning Penn Premier.
Whew. So let me start by saying I never thought I would be here. Oh, my God. Never, ever, ever. So I went to Bowie State University. Well, I started off at Prince George's Community College because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I couldn't figure it out, right? My mom was like, you're too immature. You're not going to go waste my money at a 4-year in college. You need to figure it out. Go down the street and figure it out down at PG. And I'm glad she did. I'm glad she allowed me that opportunity because it did allow me some time to be able to get it together. But anyway, I finished there, and then I went on to Bowie State. And I obtained a bachelor's degree in social work and a master's degree in, I don't even know what I got in, counseling.
I love it.
But anyway, so I've been in education for many, 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 many years. But in 2003, I discovered real estate. And it was kind of by accident. Like I had a whole lot of friends that was in real estate, and I was watching them, and I was like, uh-oh, I lost my earring. I can do that. That looks cool. And they encouraged me. Like they were like, yeah, you can. You should do it. So I went and I got my license and I was excited. And I'll go back to that point about when people get their license and they think all of a sudden, oh my God, you're going to be rich. It doesn't work like that, guys.
No,
but we'll talk about
all.
that a little bit later. So I got my license, and one of my girlfriends introduced me to a person that they thought would be a good mentor for me. And I spent my days and nights basically shadowing this individual. And as I was doing it, I was like, oh, okay, like I'm learning the whole time, right? But I'm like, I wouldn't do it that way. But of course, I'm not saying that. I'm just learning, right? I'm learning. And so I did that. And so I've worked, my first brokerage that I worked with was RE/MAX. So I was there for many years. Yeah.
So that's who you trained with from the beginning?
Yes, from the beginning, RE/MAX. Because the point I'm going to make right now is that when I first got into real estate, I thought that the name carried you, like the big name, the RE/MAX, the Long & Fosters, the Rikers. I thought that that's what you needed in order to be successful. You needed to be associated with these people. But what I ended up learning is that, as of course, after I got into it for a while, you know, nobody cared who I worked with.
Exactly.
They didn't care about the name. They cared about the service that I was providing. And with that said, when it was time for me to make a move, I'll tell you, y'all, this is just the grace of God. I feel like it's corny, but I'm going to say it.
No, say it.
This is my truth.
Speak your truth, yeah.
So I was with my dying grandmother. She was like 98 years old, right?
Wow.
And we was laying across the bed. She's always been my biggest cheerleader. And so by now, I have been in real estate, I 7 years or so, or whatever. And she was just laying there. I was just looking at her, and I said, "Oh, Grandma, I'm gonna open up my own real estate brokerage. I'm gonna name it after you." She said, "That's nice, baby." Just like old grandma said.
Like the typical grandmother would say, right?
And just like that. And my dad was there too, which this was his mom, and he said, "I got you." And that's how it happened. I left because I was visiting her in Roanoke, Virginia, and I went home and I just got to it. And I opened up my own real estate brokerage, Penn Premier Real Estate Group. My grandmother's name was Cornelia Penn, so that's where Penn comes from. Penn is also my maiden name.
So let's give it up for that. I don't think it's corny at all.
That's not corny.
I think it's actually fly, so fly that I did the same exact thing you did.
You did.
I went to real estate school in '99, opened up my firm in Charlotte, and opened it up and named it after my grandmother.
Yes, he did.
Just like you did.
Yes.
So no, it's not corny at all. It's fly, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that's corny.
Yeah, so I don't have like a whole other kind of story, but that's what happened. And I'm telling you, the other funny part to this is that you're like, well, why did you choose to do your maiden name? Well, I'm divorced, right? So my name is Marcia Holmes, but Holmes is my married name, but I'm divorced. And I sure wasn't using that name. I was going to put my name on the map.
There you go.
And not that name. So that's what Penn Premier Real Estate Group came from.
Yeah, I like the whole jingle. The whole is a catchy. It's short and sweet and right to the point.
I love it.
And it sounds powerful, right? So I like it.
I feel powerful. I really, really, really do.
Well, you are powerful, and we know that. And so for those who don't, I want to get into a little bit about what you do at your realty. So what do you guys specialize in? What about investment at all? Investment properties?
Definitely. So I am in residential. My specialty is residential real estate.
Gotcha.
Real estate. I can do and do some commercial, but that's not my specialty. My specialty is residential. I represent buyers, sellers, investors. I've even done some leasing. I will say this because I get a lot of questions from people about real estate when they want to get into it, and they're like, well, you know, what would you recommend that I do? I recommend that you learn all the aspects of the game. So many people like to get into something that's hot and only want to do what's hot.
Yep.
We just came out of a seller's market. So you may have encountered some agents that said, "Oh, I'm only doing listings because it was hot and it was easy."
Easy money.
But what happens when the market changes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you now don't have the skills to actually accommodate these other clients that need the services, such as buyers, such as investors, such as people who want to do rentals. I don't do a lot of rentals as much as I used to, but when I first got in the game, I wanted to know everything. Everything. And so therefore, it doesn't matter what kind of market we're in. I can survive in all of it because I know how to do each and every last thing.
Okay, so let's pivot a little bit. Speaking of pivoting, what would be one of the toughest things that you encountered in the real estate game thus far? One tough incident, because I know it's many. The game changes daily. So what was one of those things that almost took you out? Like, man.
Well, first of all, in real estate, you don't make any money until you get to the closing table. You know
that's exactly right.
So people think that it's so glamorous and you make money just because you got all these clients, but you literally work sometimes anywhere from 30 days to it could be 6 months. It just depends on how long it takes that client to find that house that they love and then transition through the whole financing part of it. But the biggest thing, the very first thing, I think it just crushed my heart so bad. There are so many components that make this thing successful in the real estate game, right? So you have a lender, because most people don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars cash, right? To be able to, so they have to go out and they have to get a mortgage loan, right? Which is so very important because without the money, we can't buy the house. Right. So that part right there, if that falls through, and many times it does, the deal is dead.
Yeah.
So I'll give one example as you indicated. I had a client that was so excited. Oh, my God, I'm getting my new house. We were in the loan process, or they were in the loan process, and we were getting ready to go to close. And they went out and opened up some credit cards, started buying furniture to furnish the house, and threw off their DTI and killed the deal.
So that's debt to income ratio.
Oh,
so let me say this to y'all. You my twin. I promise you, my first nightmare experience was what you just said.
Yes.
To the T, except I had been with these people 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
Riding them around, looking for property. It took me a month to get them qualified, pre-qualified, because they wouldn't participate and do the right thing. And after all of that, they did exactly what I said to do. I said, don't buy a thing until we close. They said, well, I didn't think they was going to pull my credit again. You didn't hear me. And so that's a nightmare because time is wasted.
Yep.
You don't get a check.
Nope.
They're discouraged. They blame it on you.
Yes, all of that. And I'll tell you another thing, especially for with people with challenging credit, right? So when they get into that position where they're like, oh, my God, now I have good credit. Oh, my God, they act like they don't know how to act. I swear to goodness, sometimes they run out, they like, oh, I got a 700 credit score. Well, we did that. We worked really hard to get you this mortgage.
Right.
Not for you to go out there and buy that Cadillac Escalade that you went out there and just went to buy. You can't buy a car before you go to closing. You just can't do it. You almost can't breathe good.
So give me 2 other tips real quick because we run out of time. Give me 2 more tips that's really major for this first-time home buyer.
So for the buyers, just like I said, do not buy anything before going to closing. Protect your, and another thing, do not co-sign for anybody. Going back to the fact that you have this good credit, now your brother, your mama, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever, look, you got this good credit, I really need, and then you go out and you co-sign. That's your debt.
That's your debt.
That's your debt too. Don't tell me about a cosign because a cosign doesn't really matter. It's still your debt. It's still both of you all's debt, and therefore that debt is held against you. So don't buy anything. Protect your credit, and just listen. Just listen to your realtor. Listen to your mortgage person, and don't be afraid to tell your truth. Okay? Because in most instances, we can work it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about strategizing and making sure that we put things in order so that we can get you to your goal.
Perfect. Love it. So on a rap note, because they waiting for the rap. So you want to?
Well, I had one question, and I just wanted to ask a typical day for Penn Premier. Like, what is a typical day for you like?
You'd be surprised. My phone rings often, and not every time I pick up the phone and answer does it equate to $1 today.
Right.
Might not equate to $1 30 days from now. It might not equate to $1 till next year. But it doesn't matter because I'm big on educating. I want my people, and I'm not talking about color, I'm talking about anybody that comes to me that I represent.
Right.
I want them to know what I know. I want to teach you. I don't want you just to get the home. I want you to be able to keep the home.
Right.
Okay?
Which is important, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, I love that too. So, speaking of getting a home and reaching out to you, how can they do that? How can they find you on social media platforms and find them a home through you?
Okay, so my business IG is Penn Premier. I think it's Penn Premier Real Estate. I own the IG page, but I don't run the IG page. But my personal is Marcia Holmes, no space, MarciaHolmes, and that's on IG and Facebook. Penn Premier, Facebook and IG. Also, my office address. I give you the address, but
They're gonna be over there stalking
I'll
you.
give you the telephone. It's 301-358-3798.
One more time.
301-358-3798.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
Y'all
So
give it up. Oh, wait, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, so if someone wants to buy a home, sell a home, or whatever, you can help them.
And I want to say this, y'all, you know what? We are moving into a different market right now. So please beware. There's going to be short sales. There's going to be foreclosures. Again, everybody's situation is different. Do not stick your head in the sand. Pick up the phone. Call me. Call a real estate agent that you trust. Don't lose your prized possession because you're afraid of what may be going on right now. People lose their
Yep.
jobs. People
Yep.
get divorced.
Yeah.
People,
They have
people go
programs
through
that can
life.
help
people
you.
get sick. People die.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we work too hard for it. So make sure that you look to an expert or professional that can guide you through.
So make sure you guys get in
you.
touch with Marcia so she can help you guys out. And don't be too prideful because that's where you fall. So make sure that you can
Yay.
also get the help that's needed. Y'all give it up one more
Y'all
time
give
for
it
the
up,
brilliant, amazing Marcia in the building.
Holmes. I love it. Black girl magic.
You
Listen,
already know.
we will be back with our next guest. This I call this next guest DC Go-Go Royalty. So we got Wiley Brown coming up after
Coming
this
up.
quick commercial break, y'all.
Y'all ready?
Yes.
Y'all ready? All right,
Yes.
let's do it.